Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kickback Presents the All Memphis Post Game Show. My name is Jamal. With me is Mase, and we are two happy Grizzlies fans tonight. The Grizzlies just defeated the Charlotte Hornets 130-114, and it didn't even seem that close. But Mase, what's been going on, man? How are you feeling about the game?
Hey man, after losing four in a row, I would have taken a win any way I could have gotten it. To get it in the manner that we got it, seeing the Grizzlies eclipse the franchise record for threes made in a game. They finished with 23 threes made tonight. Just what a fun game to watch. We got to see LaMelo ball, even though he wasn't spectacular. You still saw the potential that he brings. I think he had 15 or 17 and 5, so not a bad game. But fortunately, we blew him out, and we didn't see much of LaMelo in the second half, really. And then the Hornets, they had won 5 of their last 7, 2 in a row coming into this one. So it was just it was nice to see the team bounce back and just really they whooped Charlotte. Thanks in large part to the 23 threes. And it was not that much different than some of the games we had seen, the Pelicans, the Raptors, prior to this, where our offense was going, but we couldn't get any stops. And that's how this first half went. So what was your take, just kind of how the game started? And I know Scary Terry was going off. He had 13 in the first, and Cody Zeller had 9 in the first. I thought we were in for getting buckets from Cody Zeller all night. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. But what was your take early on?
I mean, the slow start worried me a little bit. The funny thing, I was listening to.
Let me ask: did you have keys to the game? I jumped right into the game.
You know what? I did. Thank you for asking, Mason. I did have keys to the game, and my first key was fourth quarter. Will the Grizz be in position to close? And if they are in a position, will they close? Like, granted, they went into the fourth quarter with a big lead. Was the lead? Yeah, the lead was big, like 16 points, right?
Yeah, going into the fourth, we were up 101-83.
Yep, right. So 18 points. So we took care of that. Defense, I said they held Charlotte to 40% in the last time they played. Could they do that? The start of the game kind of ruined that. Charlotte ended up shooting exactly 50% tonight. Right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think they shot 55.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shorted them. They did. We shot 50. They shot 55. So we did not meet that mark. But also I had a note, Ja versus Melo. These were two up and coming guards. I got a question for you, by the way, about Ja. I want to ask it later on. I'm glad you said it made me think about that. Ja versus Melo. Can Ja outplay the young upstart? Can he build on some of the stuff that he's been doing? Like last game, I wanted him to score 20 points. I think he had 18. So it was interesting. It was good to see. And my other key was the bench unit. What was going to be the bench unit, and our bench unit as a whole bounce back from the collectively the worst game that they ever played this season was the last game against the Raptors. So yeah, man, those are my keys. And I think, they took care of business in the fourth quarter. Defense, you played good enough offense that offense was your defense. Ja and Melo had a good battle. They weren't really guarding each other that much. But Ja was guarding LaMelo, and LaMelo kind of big boyed him once or twice in the first half, put the muscle on him.
Did I see it correctly? Did LaMelo give Ja too little?
I didn't see it.
I think that happened.
Okay, well, that's probably what got some oomph under Ja. And then also, I had on here the jersey matchup. This is a team, to me, these teams have some of the best jerseys in the league. The Charlotte Hornets with their kind of hybrid throwback of the old Hornets and some new stuff. And the Grizzlies. So I think, if I got to be honest, maybe the Hornets won the jersey matchup tonight.
Yeah. Unless we're in our throwbacks, I think they win just about every jersey matchup with us, unless it's a special, like the MLK jerseys or the Sounds or something like that.
Right. So that's what I thought, man. Those are my keys. Like I said, the defense got off to a bad start in the first half. They gave up 38 points in the first quarter, which was crazy. Kyle, like I said, Cody Zeller out here hitting nine. Like he had Cody Zeller, who is younger than us, but looks like he's 45 years old. He looked like he should be playing in the men's league at the YMCA. But he gave us 9 points, hit a three. He was 1 for 14 before he shot that, before he hit that three, and he hit it. But our offense kind of let our defense off the hook because we were just shooting the ball, man. Like Grayson was 4 for 4 from three the first quarter, kind of kept us in the game. So yeah, it was our offense helped our defense out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the Hornets shot 63% in the first quarter, but we were able to go 7 to 13 from three, and we were able to keep it close. It was 38-34 at the end of the first, even though we had 5 turnovers and the Hornets only had 1. So I'm keeping up with the game on my phone at work. I'm like, this is not looking good. This is just looking like more of the same. And then we got into the second quarter. Gordon Hayward kind of started to get going. He had 9. Terry stayed hot. He had 11 in the second quarter. So he was at like 24 at the half. But one thing that did happen is the Hornets had 7 turnovers that quarter, and the Grizzlies only had 3. So we were able to take the lead, 70-68 going into halftime. Ja got it going a little bit. He had 9 points in the second quarter, and shooters kept shooting. I mean, we scored 36 in the second. Yep. And gave up 30. So don't like giving up 30, but you'll take it if you can score 36. And, I really just don't understand why Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff didn't just tell the guys to make more threes sooner.
I mean, it seems like the most obvious coaching change you can make, right? Hey, maybe y'all should make more threes and then we'll win the game. Easy money.
I mean, I felt like the team tonight was just like the definition of make or miss league. We've been getting these same shots. We've been getting open looks from three. Maybe not as many as we did tonight, but they haven't been falling. But what we haven't seen from this team is what got me the most excited, and it took place in the third quarter. We locked up. They only had 15 points in the third quarter.
15 points in that third quarter. And, I mean, look at this right now. We shot 49 threes. We shot 94 total shots, and 49 of those 94 were threes, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, we ended the first half on a 17-9 run that got us that lead. And if I'm not mistaken, it would have been a 5-point lead, but Scary Terry hit a three right at the buzzer.
Correct.
Going into halftime. So it would have been a 17-6 run. To end the half. And he was on, man. He didn't play well against us last game, but he was on tonight. And it was great to see them come out of the locker room with a focus, right? They knew they were trying to lock up. It doesn't hurt that Kyle Anderson somehow got hot from 3-point land, which I don't think I've ever been able to say that sentence ever in life, but that doesn't hurt. And the fact that they came out with some intensity and they came out with some focus and they came out look like a team with a plan and knowing, like, you know what, we got to put these dudes away. And that's what they did, man. And you got to give the hats off to them and the coaching staff. You got to get the hats off to Kyle for making three. He was making threes and talking shit. Like he was talking shit like he was a 3-point shooter. I'm like, bruh. But hey, man, I'm happy for him. Good for him.
Well, I mean, they were leaving him wide open in that same corner every time. He hit 4 in a row to start the third quarter, and that really just gave us the boost we needed. The third one he made, Jamal, he caught it above his head, didn't bring it down or anything, just shot it. Like, what? That the only other person I've seen who's been really good at that, and I'm not saying Kyle's really good at it, but it's Klay Thompson. That's who that reminded me of. He can just catch it and shoot it in any manner. But we only had 1 turnover in that third quarter, too, which I thought was huge. And Pete noted this on the broadcast that the Hornets are 10-0 when leading going into the fourth quarter. So you hit the nail on the head. Like, it was imperative that we came out in that third quarter, played with intensity, because we played good in the previous third quarters too. If you remember, we were leading New Orleans before the fourth, and we were leading Toronto. Yep. But they were scoring too in the third quarter while we were scoring. And we just came out and clamped up. And I looked to me kind of like Charlotte might have been a little tired. They kind of look like us the past couple of games. They just hit a dead spot. But, all credit to the Grizzlies for making that happen. But I thought the key was not turning the ball over, not letting a team who is really good on the break, getting out and getting those easy buckets on the break, which we had seen the last couple of games where teams would just run off on us after a couple of turnovers because they got some good looks. Dylan made some shots in the third, but the story was really Kyle Anderson and the Grizzlies defense gave up 0 free throw attempts to them, and we had 6. So that third quarter, man, it just really made me proud.
I was worried because that first half had me kind of worried about Dylan. He was taking some wild shots. He picked up 2 early fouls, and like with the way this team is constructed now, with the injuries and stuff that we have. Excuse me. You got to get not maybe this type of game, but you got to get some kind of good stuff from Dylan, right? And the first half concerned me a little bit because he was just out there kind of just in the wind, taking bad shots, gambling on defense. But he got it together in that third quarter. And his stat line ends up not looking too bad. 8 for 13 for 20 points, 4 of 8 from 3, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. And 3 turnovers, you would like that to be lower, but what you gonna do about it?
Yeah, he threw one clear into the stands. His intentions were good. Desmond Bane had just hit a 3, and he was trying to get the ball back to him, but it was just about 7 feet too high. And credit to Dylan, he made the 3 that broke the franchise record right. As the longest tenured Grizzly. I think that was fitting.
It was, man. I wish. We are so not used to seeing a team hit 23s. So it was just for all those long-suffering Grizzlies fans, that was a sight to see, especially when you get 4 from or you get 6 total from Kyle Anderson. That's just something that you don't expect. Dylan Brooks going 4 for 8, Desmond Bane going 4 for 8, cool. Even Ja making 1, all right. Grayson Allen going 5 of 12. He was just feeling this. He was going to shoot that. He had a couple heat checks. But it was good to see, man. Hopefully this can continue on. This is something that can lead to something they can build on this. They've been building on the performances. The only thing about the last couple games is they had a terrible fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They were in the games to win the game. They were in the games to win them. Then they had bad fourth quarters and they end up losing. But you take a step back and you look at it, it's like, okay, well, build on some other stuff. Always find something good in the game to build on and know what you can work on. Fourth quarter execution is just something that we got to work on. And we started our fourth quarter execution in the third quarter today. If you handle your business in the third quarter, ain't got to worry about the fourth quarter. And they did that.
Yeah, and just to your point about the last couple of games, because I know Memphis media has kind of been sky is falling. What's wrong with the Grizzlies? What's wrong with Ja Morant? But I haven't taken that approach. I know you and I are not happy after losses, and we might be down about certain things in the game. But I think overall, big picture, if you look at it, we lost to the Pelicans, the Raptors, the Pacers, and one other team. But basically, all those teams were projected to finish better than us. And they just outplayed us in the fourth quarter. Not the Pacers, they whooped us. But especially the Pelicans and Raptors, those last 2 games that I'm hanging on. So I think people were overreacting. I think this team was a couple shots away from, not being on a 4-game losing streak. Yeah. Shots fell tonight, locked up on defense. We didn't have that quarter where we weren't on a string. Even though the defense wasn't great tonight, that third quarter performance allowed us to, get enough separation to win the game. Shouts to Desmond Bane, his second start. He had a career high 18. A lot of it came in the fourth quarter, but you need points nonetheless. And what was really exciting tonight was it was a little bit of everyone. We didn't have one player make 12 threes. It was Grayson in the first. In the second, it was Ja and Tyus. In the third, it was Kyle who got things going. And then in the fourth, it was kind of Bane and Dylan.
You let a team shoot 55% and you win by 16 points. Like that, you don't see that often, right? And so, there are some things, like you said, the defense needs to be shored up a little bit. And part of that is just personnel. A lot of that is personnel, actually. You don't have the right defensive players out there because they're not available to you. And so like we've seen some of these patchwork lineups work in the short term. You know, they can work for 2 or 3 minutes, but you're trying to get 6 minutes out of some of these lineups, and it's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? This is not how it is.
And we tossed a questionable one out there to end the third. I think it was Tyus, Grayson, Conchar, Tillman, and Jang.
Right.
So not a lot of playmaking out there, and it was really give the ball to Grayson and see and hope he makes a shot or two.
What was that? Was there a play I thought that was going to go against Grayson?
When they called the block, but it wasn't a block. It should have been a travel. They called a travel, and then they changed it.
I worry that Grayson's going to get a reputation.
I think he's already got one.
I think he has one like amongst fans. But I'm talking about like with referees. I think referees are just quick to just blow the whistle on anything.
I think it's already there.
He tripped somebody like, like you'll get him man. I'll try to give him a flagrant for tripping somebody by mistake. You know. But I do worry about that a little bit. But it was really good to see him get off. Because you just need him to have these type of games to keep his confidence.
Bro, I'm telling you, the Grayson and Ja combo in the bubble, and every time we've seen it this year, it's been pretty damn good.
You said it earlier. I mean, Ja had 15 and 11, which was great. I think he had I wrote it down, I think.
He had 5 turnovers.
5 turnovers. I didn't write down the assist. He had 14 in the first half. So he had 14 in the first half, and he only scored a point in the second half, and we win by 16 points. 11 assists. I think he probably had like 4 or 5 in the first quarter. Yeah. Which is like that's his MO, kind of get people set up, get 2 or 3 to Jonas early on the drive and lay up. Like that's kind of he gets Jonas set up like how Kyle gets it. He just throws the ball up, Jonas catch it up here and put it right in. Jonas had another major game. We had 12 and 15. Obviously could have scored more if we needed it, if it was needed. But against these type of teams, that's a Jonas number. He should get you between 12 to 15 points and 12 to 15 rebounds. Against this type of team, their big man was Cody Zeller and Bismack Biyombo. Like you go out and you get those numbers. He's a walking double-double every time.
Do you think – yeah, and I actually expected a bigger night from JV. But, when you're making 23 threes, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I thought he was key on the boards, and I'll get to that in a minute. But do you think Ja is like just – to me, it seems like he is just like stuck in a state of indecisiveness, and he's turning the ball over because it's like, do I shoot? Do I pass at the last minute? Do I make the easy pass, or do I make this fancy one that I can see but is unlikely to make? His 5 turnovers, they were just, they weren't just him trying to make a play and it wasn't there. It was just like pretty, quite frankly, bad decision making, I thought. And I haven't been on the what's wrong with Ja train, but it just seems like he is mentally in a state of indecisiveness and just stuck
trying to
in
see
between.
If he can make the regular play or the home run play, right? Like,
yeah, and like, do I shoot? Do I pat? Like, I got this floater, but you're open.
You know what? I think he wants to do so. He tries to do so much to make sure everybody's like involved and in the game, and sometimes he just gets stuck. Like, at some point, which is not just a second-year player, you're gonna have to understand that sometimes he's the best option. A bad shot from me is better than an open shot from you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I was paying attention to Ja in the confines of the Ja versus Melo head to head, and I think Pete or somebody said it on the broadcast, like, Melo got some strength to him in the upper body. He was kind of getting the lane and making Ja bounce off of him, and he bounce off and layup. I don't know if people have seen this before, but that LaMelo Ball has a future in this league.
Yeah, I think he does. I'm thankful he didn't have a great game tonight. But one key to the game, we had 19 offensive rebounds, turned that into 26 second chance points. They had 8 offensive rebounds and only turned that into 8 second chance points. So outscored them by 18 there. And then, I mean, when you make 23 threes and you get 26 second chance points, it's going to be hard to beat that, even though they shot 55% from the field and 48% from downtown. You know, Jonas and the other bigs were huge on the offensive glass.
So we had 19 offensive rebounds, right? So I love to do this type of math. Let me go back to the box score real quick.
19 offensive rebounds and 26 second chance points.
So we missed, right. We made 47 shots and we missed 47 shots. So we were, 50%. And out of those 47 shots that we missed, we got the rebound 19 times.
Yeah.
That's like half. Also, you don't want to say, you can simplify it. Half of the shots that we missed, we got the offensive rebound.
And on about half of those, we scored.
So like you look at that, that's just a great way to
actually more than half of those. On about 65% of those, we scored.
To look at how that plays a part in it all.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you got to do to these teams. And that's just effort, man. Conchar had 6 rebounds. Gorgie came in. I thought he gave good minutes. He had 8 rebounds. Wasn't, knocking down threes or scoring a lot. I think he only had 2 points, but he was super effective in the limited time he was in. And then, like I said, the scoring, would have liked to see us get to the free throw line a little more, especially Ja. Only had 4. But I'm pleased, man. I'm really pleased with that bounce back effort.
I think that was a great. I think it was a great game. Something to build upon I'm looking at the schedule now. Something to build upon as you make the West Coast, the California swing. Playing the Lakers on Friday and the Kings on Sunday. On ESPN. That leads into a question I was going to ask you. But I think that we. Good momentum for the next few games, building on what we built on, building on what we started the last few games, even though we lost. Because every loss is, like you said, even though we feel bad about it and we're down, every loss ain't that bad of a loss. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, as long as you got something from it, and it seems that they did, and maybe what they got from it, we just got to shoot better, because last game they didn't shoot that well. And they came out and they made sure they put an emphasis on making sure they could shoot well, and they did. I'm not expecting them to hit 23s next game. But 12 to 15, 16 is just fine. And the Lakers team is a different beast. So your defense has to be up for that challenge. They beat us twice already here. So you kind of know what you're getting into. LeBron gonna be LeBron. And so I'm glad the game's on national TV though. That's good.
Me too, so I can watch it. The Lakers and Dodgers, Clippers, everything is basically blacked out here unless you have one specific provider, the whatever channel they're on, Spectrum, I think. But yeah, I switched my cable so I could get all of those. After I switched my cable, they broke their deal off with Xfinity or Frontier, and so now I can't watch any of those sports unless I use VPN in my league pass.
So the Lakers, Clippers, and Dodgers are blacked out in LA.
Yeah, LA Kings too. Yeah,
unless it's on a national TV.
Yeah, unless you have Spectrum cable, but a lot of places don't offer Spectrum cable.
Right.
So, and I know Grizzlies fans are going through it now with the Fox Sports blackouts for a lot of people.
Right.
And it just sucks. Like the NBA, I feel like the NBA does such a good job of, marketing their brand, and they're not really going after people pirating streams. They don't care. They don't care if you're posting highlights, without their say so. It's like people are watching our stuff and our brand is growing. Like we love it. So just that these regional markets can't get the cable contracts figured out is kind of baffling.
It's ridiculous. That's just a whole nother thing. Like they be like, you watch, make sure you let your cable come know you might take off NBC. How you gonna take off NBC, dog? It's like NBC's
trying to get world news tonight.
It's supposed to be on everybody's TV. Dateline, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you talking about, bro? Like, everybody knew growing up you had 3, 5, 7, 9, 13, bro. Like, You gonna just take NBC away? You gonna take 5 away? Come on, man. Can't do that. So here's my question. It was posed in a group chat that I'm not in, but I was brought this. Do you think Ja? I don't know if it's a question the Grizzlies or Ja. It was about national media attention. And should the Grizzlies be getting more? And should Ja be getting more national media attention?
I don't think so. I think we're getting, I feel like we're talked about on the jump. I feel like we're mentioned on podcasts from whether it's the Hoop Collective, Zach Lowe. And I mean, we're 10-10. Ja's played in about 12 games. Hasn't been awesome, honestly. I mean, and last year when he was going for Rookie of the Year, yes, Zion came on late and people were talking about him more than Ja, but Ja was the story for most of the year. And I think this year we're getting, enough respect. I don't feel like it's like the grit and grind years when you could go like 2 weeks and no one even mentioned Memphis as an NBA franchise.
Right. That's what I said. I said the same. Like my response was the same response that you had. Like I think Ja gets adequate national media attention. I said he's been on cover of many magazines. There's been many stories written about him. The fact of the matter is that the Grizzlies, even with Ja, aren't just a draw yet for ratings. Like they're going to put games on TV that get ratings, and like in this market here in Memphis, obviously we are super sensitive to it because New Orleans and Zion are right down the river. So we see that, and it's almost a rivalry in our heads. But like in the case of New Orleans, like New Orleans has more than Zion. Zion is Brandon Ingram, who is a budding superstar. It's, they got Lonzo Ball, who no matter what, is still people tune in to watch. So it's like, I think our record, we weren't supposed to do anything. We're not really supposed to win right now. And Ja's name is still brought up in these other places, and it still keeps the Grizzlies' names on people's mouth. So
yeah, I mean, he's getting talked about for All-Star, and I mean, not
right,
really having an All-Star season.
That's what I said. He's the top 4. He's the number 4 vote getter for guards, and he's only had one national TV game.
Like when those came out, he had played like 7 games.
He's getting that recognition.
Yeah, and like I think maybe right now is good that the spotlight is not on him and the Grizzlies because people would be dissecting his game, whereas we just kind of brush it off as Ja's learning, and that's what it is. There's no reason to dive too deep into it. Like he is that dude. Tony Allen was saying it yesterday on Verno. Like he's got to recognize that he just needs to be more aggressive, whether it's him in the lane or attacking the double team. Don't pass it to your team. Like you can beat the guy coming at you, get by him, and then you're playing 5-on-3. So like Ja is that dude. Like don't let a couple games, especially when he re-injured that ankle in the second Spurs game. And I know he said no pain, no problems, but it didn't look like it when he hobbled to the locker room. And
when he was punching walls.
And not to mention he had that injury, and then we go on this break, so his conditioning is not where it needs to be. So, and I think that's evident. Just him, I think that's probably leading to some of these decisions he's making. It's just he's not fully there yet, because we played these 6 games in 9 nights or whatever it is now. Yeah. So it's a lot of factors, and he's still a second-year guy. And yes, guys are better now, young, than they ever were before. But he gave us 15 and 11. He's given us 18 and 9 the other night. He's right there. He is right there. And if this team was 13 and 7 instead of 10 and 10, so that's 3 more wins, media would be all over us.
Right? Oh yeah. Oh my God. It would be a love fest. It would be a love fest. So who do you got as your player of the game? Superlatives.
I think we got to go Kyle Anderson, man. 27, 6 of 8 from downtown. Hotter than a firecracker in the third. Shout out Kyle. Shout out Jersey.
Shout out Jersey. Shout out UCLA. First time and only time
hurts.
I'll ever do that. I'll never do that again. It didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. But I will do the same thing. I will say that You got to give that to Kyle. He helped break it open in the third quarter, and he played a great game. So that's who I got for my player of the game. Who's your bum of the game?
I'm gonna go with my boy PJ Washington, and he had 5 points, but it's not about the points. Does he not look like Lionel Hollins to anyone else? I feel like I've been saying this for 2 years and no one has latched on to it. But man, he looks like Lionel Hollins to me.
Do you know who his girlfriend is? This isn't a pop culture podcast, but do you know who his girlfriend is?
Is it Lionel's daughter?
No. Just look up Brittany Renner on Instagram, and yeah. She's a lovely woman. My bum of the game, I'm just gonna say Cody Zeller, just because he just looks like he should play in like the lawyer league, like, and just not his physique, but his face, like he losing hair.
You're talking about his head, is what you're talking about.
He losing hair. He looking old in the face. So Cody Zeller is my bum of the game. Who's your player of the game?
Oh, I have 3 right here, so I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let you go first, and I'll pick one that you don't choose.
Well, I had 2. My first one is, and I just picked the one. My player of the game is simple, but it was cool. It was just the out of bounds lob from Kyle Anderson to Ja in the second quarter. I think either first quarter, second quarter. It was like, it didn't look like a play they drew up. It was like something that just happened to be open and they both recognized it. And Kyle threw it. Ja caught it with 2 hands. So that's my play of the game.
And I'm going to go, we had just came out of a timeout, and Ja's dribbling up top and sees Xavier Tillman on the baseline, basically wide open. And Ja kind of throws a bullet pass between a couple Hornets defenders, goes to Tillman for the one-handed jam. Probably the biggest dunk of Tillman's career we've seen yet.
Yeah, I would say so. And like, I think the Hornets were in a zone.
Yeah.
So he dribbled over a little bit to kind of shift the zone, and then one-hand pass. Zipped it right to him.
Yeah, and then Pete noted that he had been talking with the coaches right before that play in the timeout. So just a cool moment to see come to fruition. My other one was Kyle when he was going across the lane, and then he flipped it back with his right hand, a little scoop layup, when I think it was PJ Washington was expecting him to go up with his left, and he snuck it in there.
Yep. That, and then the one I thought was good, and I just like to see it out of this kid. Call him a kid. This guy, because the way he was attacking the rim with that was Desmond Bane had like a downhill crossover, a spin move crossover reverse layup in the fourth quarter.
On the break.
Yeah, it was 1-on-3. It was 1-on-3, and he did that. So yeah, that's my play of the game is a lob, but you know.
Hey, he looked like Tony to me when he did that.
all out of whack. No, like all the coordination was gone, dog.
Well, did you win any money?
I won some money. I made 2 bets, and won 1, lost 1. So over, like, for the day, I lost money, but I won a bet. I bet the Grizzlies would win. They were favored by 3. So I bet that, and then on my little stats, my stats bet.
What'd you have? Let's hear it.
Let's see what I had, man. Let's see what I had. I ain't even looked at it, because what really hurt me was us going on that run in the third quarter. The success of the team hurt me.
Oh, you had some Hornet stats in there?
Not many, but
too many.
But I think I might have had 3. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it was something that at the half I thought we were gonna be in good shape. Oh, and part of it was a Grizzly. So I had Ja Morant over 16 points. He finished with 15.
You might need to lay off that one for a minute.
Well, I brought it down. From 18 to 16. And now,
I think he hit it last game, so maybe I'm wrong.
So 15 might be it. Jonas, I had him getting over 12.5 points. I think he had 12. Dylan Brooks over 10, that hit. Kyle over 9, that hit. Desmond Bane over 7, that hit. Kyle Anderson over 3.5 rebounds. I think he finished with 2. or maybe finished with 3. And I was fighting myself on that one because I should have went like under 8. But the last time we played them, he had like 11 rebounds. And it's because they don't have any bigs. And I just thought he'll be able, like, he can 3 basketballs will fall in his lap at some point in this game. But the way the offense was going, he's been on the perimeter most of the time now. So he wasn't just running around the rim. And we shot 50% and they shot 55%. It wasn't that many missed shots.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. So I had Jonas getting over 12 rebounds, had Ja getting over 6.5 assists, had LaMelo getting over 13 points. And then this is where it hurts me. I had LaMelo getting over 6 assists. He had 5 for the game, but he had 5 at halftime. So he didn't get a single assist in the second half. So like at halftime when I check my stat and see where I'm at, I counted that as a dub. I'm like, ain't no way he's not gonna get 2 assists. I got 5, boom, boom. Didn't get none. I had Gordon Hayward over 16 points. I think he finished with like 13 to 14.
15. Yeah, 15. Yep.
Right at 15. And he had been in the 20s for like the last 5 or 6 games.
I think he's averaging 24.
So even with that one, I was like, even if you have a bad game, he'll get 16. Did not. And I put Gordon Hayward over 2.5 assists. He finished with 2 or 1 or 2. And then Terry Rozier, I had him over 12.5 points. And we know what Scary Terry did. So, yeah.
So you were close, but not that close.
I was close. Yeah,
you were close on a lot of them, but you missed a lot.
So what I was a point off on Ja, a point off on Jonas, a rebound off of Kyle, or an assist off of LaMelo, a couple points off of Gordon Hayward, and an assist off of Gordon Hayward. So like I said, just playing with the numbers, man. I want to show you this real quick. So there's Ja getting some shots up after the game that the Grizzlies Twitter account tweeted. And he said he got to be better. 100%. Well, 100, simple. These young kids and their emoji use.
I mean, he's
right. I will say this. This is the season is short. Is like not. This is a very different season. But I've seen more people like shooting after games now than I remember for a long time. Like it seems to happen like at least a couple times a week. Maybe not just for the Grizzlies, but throughout the NBA.
Well, I think it happened when we were there too. A lot of people went to the practice court, so it wasn't as visible.
That's a good point.
To me, yes, this might be a thing where Ja's like, I just got to be better. I need to go see some shots go in, get in rhythm. But to me, I'm more excited about it for the conditioning purposes. Because as I talked about, I don't think he's in elite level shape, and to no fault of his own. But I'm excited about this for conditioning purposes. With getting those shots in late in the game, building that leg strength back up.
Well, yeah, I'm with you with that. And let's call it a night right there. Call it a night. Let's go put up our own jumpers right now. And the game over with. Show over. Go put up our own little jumpers. We won't be doing it tomorrow night. Tiger. We don't know when we do it for the Tigers anymore. Tigers have been
little Rona.
The Tigers have been paused for a couple of different Rona cases within the organization. So maybe they'll play. They're not playing Cincinnati tomorrow. They might play Houston on Sunday.
Yeah, what I read was it's a slight chance that it will happen. So
there's no way you can have a positive test on Wednesday and think that positive test won't, like, if you do that, you're going against everything you've been telling the people.
Yeah, I mean you can in the NFL, but college hoops probably not.
Right.
Sucks. Bad timing for the Tigers. Real bad timing.
Terrible timing. Terrible timing for the Tigers. A lot of T's in there.
Well, and now you don't even know if those games are going to be made up because you're at the end of the season. So just really unfortunate. And I hope it was just, a cause of someone being around. They're college kids. It could be a cause of anything. So I'm not even going to blame them. If I was in college in the right now, I don't know
Oh.
how strict I would be sticking to protocols.
Did you see the North Carolina had to cancel their game because after the Duke game, I got mad because they said they there's a video of them at a party, and I'm like, I didn't see the video, but hearing the players' explanation, it wasn't a party. It was just like a little kickback in one of the dorm rooms, and they let some people in that weren't like they let some of their like neighbors in or whatever that weren't supposed to be in there. If you saying they were at a party, I'm thinking lights out, twerking music on, they up against the wall getting twerked on, everybody drinking, passing the bottle around and stuff. They just sitting on their couch, got some music playing, maybe playing some video games. They just kicking it. They weren't partying. But anyway, they got caught without mask on, and this generation, they gonna snitch on themselves all the time because they always gonna put stuff on the internet.
Yeah. Snapchat's the worst thing that could have happened for
college
like, students.
If y'all walk in this room, man, put y'all phones away. Whatever. But we old in this game, so we know that.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's been the Kickback presents the All Memphis Post Game Show, talking about the Grizzlies' victory over the Charlotte Hornets on this Wednesday night. Mase, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me at Barnburner Slim on Twitter. Jamal, where can they find you and the show?
They can catch me at Nerdy McFly on the Twitter and on Facebook, the Kickback Pod, on YouTube, Diamond in the Bluff Media, or just type in Diamond in the Bluff. You'll see a really cool logo.
Yeah.
And we got all of our shows up there. Subscribe, like, and all that good stuff. And yeah, man. So with that being said, for Mase, I'm Jamal, and we are out.
Peace.